glasses. Right, so good morning, and I want to touch base quick on some of the things that your Prime Minister said yesterday in his press conference. One of the things that struck me, somebody asked me what's for lunch. Bachelors are cooking soup, oxtail soup. I'm going to show you something. I'll show you how quick, if you know how to shop in the grocery. Green seasoning, vegetables already cut up, split peas pre-cooked. So, and I have an instant pot. This is an instant pot. This here is an instant pot. You seen it? That's a real flick. Anyway, let me tell you something. When Rowley said yesterday that the government has no authority over landlords and the government has no authority over banks, he was lying to you. And it seems that Keith Rowley's job is to lie to the nation. Let me explain something to you. Like any other business or industry, banks are regulated. In fact, banks are supposed to be highly regulated. How highly regulated? In the Constitution, there is a role for a member of the judiciary called the Financial Services Ombudsman. And his job is to deal with complaints. His job is to deal with complaints against financial services. If I stand up here and talk, you hearing me? Or do I have to come there and talk? I make my soup and talk to you one time now. While you're waiting for that, while you're waiting on the crowd to build, frozen oxtail. Yeah. Anyway, banks operate by a license in the country. The government sets the rules under which that license is governed. So the terms and conditions of finance in the country is governed by the state. Also, the state can, how to tell you this? The state can encourage through taxation and legislation. Right now, we don't really tax landlords. Right now, we don't tax rentals. And there are a lot of ways that people hide their rentals from the state. But all of those attempts to hide it. I could take you to a house in Fairways that was converted into 6 apartments. But it's a house and it's rented at 6 apartments. And the 6 different companies own it. They own the apartments, but all the directors and the shareholders, the same man. And so it's easy to, and I'm saying this so you know that if the state wanted, if I was over there when I'm over there by the sink, you all hear me? What did somebody just tell me? But that belly kind of big though. You sure you don't want to lay up the roof for a while? Who's this? Rajesh? Rajesh, post a picture of your belly now, brother. Anyway, back to this. Let me show you how instant pot does work. The one thing I don't have to add I was gonna go to the grocery to get it, but I had to do this live video. So a blanket. The one thing I don't have to add is as use this is I'm telling you this for bachelors and for women who mother didn't teach them how to cook. Chicken stock. As buy chicken stock. But I don't have chicken stock. Actually, I wonder. Yeah, I have chicken stock. But anyway, when the lockdown done and the gym open back, you see how quick I get back sexy. I committed. But for now, all the way, you can't exercise. It's against the law to exercise. So as walk to the grocery and as walk to the drugstore, those who are going to knock me using blue water as water, knock away. Because they know what all they're doing too. All they know what all they're supporting too. I can't fight every fight. That's green seasoning, pimento pepper, water, frozen oxtail. Press one button and we're in business. So that's going to pressure cook my oxtail. Yeah? Hadassah Charles McLeod, every time I see you while I'm using that Instant Pot, I want to hug you and kiss you. Because it's you make me buy that. Anyway, so the next thing, I was telling you, the state right now doesn't regulate landlords, but it could. Right now the state could encourage landlords to be compassionate, or the state could write a law taxing rental properties 20% of the rental of the property and then defer it for those renters who showing compassion. Now, you have 3 months of a state of emergency, but you'll end up paying 20% on your rental property for the rest of your life. So that's just money you're going to lose for being stupid. So landlords, don't provoke the situation. You're in a position to help. You're throwing people out now. How you know you're going to get back another tenant? How you know? People in a jam. They're under pressure. And at least these people running up a debt that they could possibly service. That's all I'm saying. Jen C. Paul say, get yourself an elliptical and a spin bike. I can't do nothing like that home. I will do nothing like that home, Jim. I have to go in the gym. What the fuck is this? This one come separate. Watch this one. I'm trying that one for the first time today. But you see this? Veggie soup pack. This, whoever making this, all these scientists, this. And I'm going through all of this because normally I'll show all of the pots and people will say, I make the soup. I want you to see that I do make my soup. Let's figure out what the rest of these things are in these packs. You see how everything went in there frozen? So bachelors, all they have no reason. And I'm doing this because somebody tell me they enjoyed the last pot of soup I make and they enjoyed watching us make the soup. So, hear me. I have potatoes, carrots, and plantain to add. You might be around for that part when the rest of the vegetables starch out and ready in that pot. 45 minutes of this. So when this is what sets the timing for me on my soup. In 45 minutes, this will be ready. And that would have been boiled. So it's just to combine the two. Add the plantains, potatoes, carrots, and let it simmer. I thought Saturdays is soup day, yeah, but I got an extra roti yesterday, so I couldn't pass that up. Anyway, so let me tell you this. The state can regulate banks right now. The state can dictate to the banking fraternity right now to defer loans, right now to write down credit, right now. The state could do that right now today if the state wanted to. And the reason the opposition not speaking about this, and I am, is because the opposition in bed with the banksters too. The opposition is in bed with the banksters and who owns the banks too. But the banks right now have a responsibility to everybody to pause mortgages, and the state have a responsibility to defer bank taxes, and everybody gonna win. Because you have a lot of people out of work today that need the assistance. I don't ever put dumplings in soup. So all you who's part of the dumpling crew, don't come by me with that. I don't put dumplings in soup. I don't like it. Anyway, back to the final point of the purpose of saying this today. What about the pumpkin? Pumpkin cut up on it there already in the bag. They have some small one and they have some big ones. Everything that's in that frozen bag, it have everything in there. What is the name of the pot? This pot? Instant pot. Instant pot. Watch. That's it. I think after my Mac laptop, that's the best investment I ever make in my life. Best thing I ever buy. I have a Mac laptop, 12 years old, MacBook Pro. They never bring out a better laptop. I have upgraded it to the max. I took out the CD-ROM drive and put in a solid state memory. I have external memory. It's fast like a bullet. And I'll never have a reason to change unless I don't know what they can add as technology to a laptop. But that laptop, that's the boy, a MacBook. Before that, I used to be buying a Windows machine every couple of years. 12 years, still no problem. This Instant Pot, watch now, make anybody a cook. What you just see me put in there is frozen oxtail, water, green seasoning, and pimento. That's it. This coming out as oxtail for soup, proper. I like my cornmeal dumplings in my soup. And I understand the people who like the dumplings, but I don't. I don't like dumplings in soup, and I can't make dumplings, so it's a trade-off and it's a win. But I wanna come back to the point to this. The only reason the state is not getting involved is because the state, the government, is a parliament of political parties financed by these banks. Financed by the owners of these banks. And that's the problem. That's the real issue. Yeah? The real issue. And the people of this country got distracted yesterday with Rowley talking about Kamala. And Kamala is not the one that have him with his feet nailed to the ground, you know. It's me. Every issue that he fought yesterday is me he fighting. He using Kamala because his handlers tell him, use Kamala. Because the same handlers that handling Rowley, handling Kamala. The same financiers that benefit from HTC and URP and CPEP and all Public Health Ministry of Works, RHA contracts under the UNC, benefiting under the PNM. And as long as they could pretend for you that only those two are the options, you will be hoodwinked in your mind into thinking so. But yesterday, Rowley's press conference was coming with a different flavor. And they had saved up days of tests to tell you 509 on Thursday and 708 on Friday. Lockdown more. And I exposed them. And I exposed them repeatedly for the country to see that they are lying. But then you have a man in charge of the Regional Health Authority whose claim to fame is he was in charge of the arts program under the PNM, not medical. You have a pharmacist in charge of the Ministry of Health. You have 4 junior doctors. All the title you give them, you're giving title to the junior, the most junior doctors. They don't have the experience to steward this nation during a pandemic. They don't. And that's a big red flag. But then your Attorney General is a rental, lease and mortgage lawyer. In a country, the #1 issue is crime, violent crime and murder. Faris Al-Rawi don't know anything about that. Faris Al-Rawi could tell you how to get a moratorium on your rental and how to negotiate with Town and Country and Regional Corporation for your building in real estate. But he can't tell you nothing about managing crime in a country where the #1 illegal issue is crime. Look at the people. Who is Gatsby Dolly? That's the Minister of Education. What does she know? What is her accomplishment in a world and a country where we have so many accomplished people? Your Minister of Finance knows nothing about finance in a country that has men who have risen to the pinnacle of the financial world throughout the world from Trinidad, that could easily be helping to steward our economy and diversify. We have a fall down wall specialist. He wants to tell you he's a lawyer and an engineer and a real estate contractor. All of that is good as a proper resume for the Minister of Works, not the Minister of Finance. But your Prime Minister is a geologist, and his claim to fame is he built not 1, not 2, but 3 things that fall down based on faulty and ridiculous soil estimations and engineering. Keith Rowley and his entire cabinet is a band of nowhereans. And to answer him is an opposition that even less qualified. Now this morning, and before I go, I seen a post that Kamala say, prayers can help. And that was a stupid post, Kamala. Because even if you believe that, Trinidadians believe in God. The conundrum of this country is we hypersexed, violent, crude, disgusting, but we always in the church and the temple and the mosque. So even if you believe prayers can help, hush. Hush. Take a different tack. And I feel all of y'all just playing a game. Because you can't be that stupid, Kamala, to put that out. You can't be that stupid. I mean, Rowley know how to dog whistle his crew. Prayer day. So people tell you, hey, today's not the day for that, today's the day for prayer. All this stupid. While them inside, they laughing at all you, eating their belly full and teething. You outside praying. You praying to God to solve the consequences of your vote. Now God had to ask you if you're mad. Not only do you have free will, but you're in a democracy where you get to choose the people who govern your country. And you've chosen badly 58 years. What are you calling me for? What could I do? Come and put my hand in the Prime Minister's hand and guide it? That way I want? Well, vote for God. Next election, don't vote PNM or UNC or anybody else. Take a pencil with you and write the word God. Because if your Prime Minister can't run the country, and everything that is wrong with Trinidad and Tobago is because of the failure of the government, the cabinet, and the parliament. Because the rest of the country good. The rest of Trinidad and Tobago perfect. The problem is the government, the cabinet, and the parliament. They're not doing their jobs. They're overseeing Mecca money, eater food, theft. That's all we've known from Eric Williams to now. And we have to understand that praying to God today about that should anger God. Because we had choices. And we still have choices. But Kamala, it was a stupid statement to make. And your advisors don't advise you well. Your banana thing was wrong. Even if Rowley say banana, Rowley could say banana. You're living in a world where if I say the N-word, it's wrong. If Dr. Dre say it, it's best. Know it, learn it, and move on from there. When you came, you know what I do? I trap them, you know. I tell them, let people shop alphabetically. I wanted to see who was still thieving. Marissa Ramlogan come and thief that on my wall. Marissa is a deputy mayor. How will you do that? And you know, they have some supporters who will tell you, we will ask for the ID at the door. So I'm the people who don't have ID. Don't forget the ID home. They can't shop. They can't buy groceries. It was a stupid suggestion testing you. But when you all come on your teeth thing and you do not explain it, like sunlight will cure COVID. It does. But you have to know what that means and how to use it and why it works. Why vitamin D and ultraviolet light is death to the coronavirus, to the COVID-19 virus. We have to know that. So when people ask you, what do you mean by that? You don't sound like a fool. But anyway, I don't know who advises Kamala. And all it's doing is polarizing East Indian people from the rest of the country who this morning have to take on a new blank man and a new banana and a new dome and a new sunlight that's killed COVID. Oh God, you're trapping 510,000 people. Move out the way. If shit is all you're going to bring to the politics, move out the way now. So now you have bright, intelligent people in your party trying to find a way to diss God this morning. How does that help you? How did it help you today? You could have ignored it. I suggested, say, you know what, today's the day of prayer. Better leadership. Pray for better leadership. Pray for a coast guard that could guard the coast. Pray for an army that will secure the people and not threaten them with taxpayer paid for cuff and kick. I prayed for those things. Pray for citizens who take their democracy seriously. And what we can pray for? Don't come, you run a party. The majority of your party's existence is Hindu-based. So that means the majority of your people believe in God. You always do this thing internally. We always use this, I don't know what it means, and I don't want to sound disrespectful. You'll be tying things on one of the hands and saying you're in the inner circle, and I know that as a religious symbol. So you know this. Yeah, Mama? I'm doing a video. Come in now. You know the religious. And look, the whole conversation on my thread gonna go about if prayers work or not. I find religion is a very private thing. You could be, and I am speaking to you as somebody who was practically in the seminary in another time in my life. And I was very religious growing up. So when you tell people, Frank Andy Babulal, welcome to your block. I am not like Rowley thinking Kamala running the country, you knuckle-dragging jackass. I am trying to make a point, you knuckle-dragging jackass. But the UNC, as construed, has led itself into a band of barking stray dog. And everybody who comes to talk on behalf of the UNC, they wouldn't come on the chair and say, boy, Phil, you know, that's true, eh? Cam's bong she too there again. She just do some shit. That's par for the cause. That is a real conversation. To come and attack me for my opinion and say Cam not running the country, haul your ass, you're a lizard shit too. You think it's only PNM is lizard shit? all sycophants and all trolls, and treat them like lizard shit and flick them away. Block them one time. I'm not even responding to them, you know. I didn't tell them you're about to be blocked, you know. I just block them. So at some point, they're going to come back on Facebook looking to be in the exciting conversation that is the world of my wall and my videos and my posts. You can't access it again. And you're going to make a fake profile just to access me. And if you come and talk personal attack shit again, flick your lizard shit ass away again. Because the point, and people talking about if they believe in spirituality and if they believe in the universe and if they believe in, you know what? And this is the truth. This is the absolute truth. Right now, there are 3,000 religions. I could fight and argue with all, or I could respect people's right to believe what they believe. It doesn't do me wrong. Until religion start to fight and kill people for their religion, I'll have an opinion. But until then, who you pray to and who you lie down with in the night, not my business. I don't get involved. And I think live and let live should be the situation. Glenn Robinson told me to move on, and Glenn is one of my advisors. But I just said that somebody should have told Kamala wrong thing to say. If it's a day of prayer, if he call a day of prayer, you out pray because your whole party religious and the country religious. But anyway, let me move on. All I am saying is we can't continue to have a country crash, reverse, crash, reverse, crash, reverse. We crash everything. We crash the best cocoa in the world. If P&M crash it, UNC didn't start it back, crash. We crash sugar at a time when you were to pivot. The world was pivoting its diet. Look at this. See this? This is called corn pops. You know what this was called when I was small? Sugar pops. Now I have the Spanish version because I can't get the normal English version in the grocery. This is called Frosted Flakes. It used to be called Sugar Frosted Flakes. The word sugar was removed from all of them because the world was pivoting. KFC was Kentucky Fried Chicken. KFC means nothing. But they took out, they had to change the name from Kentucky Fried Chicken to KFC to get the word fried out. It's still fried, but they're not saying it. But we had an opportunity to pivot our sugar industry into organic sugar. Organic sugar means you don't use inorganic pesticides and chemicals, and there's a way to harvest and all that kind of stuff. And we could have learned that. And we could have pivoted our sugar industry because Trinidad is a dot. We can supply one state in America with sugar, and we know that. The largest importers of sugar in the country is SM Jalil and Nestle, and then Coca-Cola, and then Caribbean Angostura. These people buy sugar by the ton. We could have pivoted to organic sugar for export and then diversify Caroni Limited to start to grow other things alongside in the shade of the cane. But we crashed that. We had the oldest oil industry in the world. Trinidad had the largest oil refinery on the planet for a long time. We crashed that. In a world where Guyana and Suriname and Barbados finding oil and need to deal with somebody, they could have deal with us. We just crash it every day. We crash, reverse and crash, and then us, the voters, along for the crash, lose everything we have to pay the bill because the cost of fixing the crash is ours, not the government who thief out the money and gone. Not Lala and Dupre and O'Halloran and Call the Heart and Ishan Steve and all the names that y'all call. They don't have to come and pay nothing. It's you. Government don't have to pay Kamla, don't have to pay Ankit, don't have to pay. They live in tax-free lives. Paula May Week's life tax-free. It's you. It's not the P&M trolls at the bottom who living in an HDC house on a URP salary and a CPAP work. All of that. You paying for all of it. You're mining people to cuss you on Facebook. That is us. And to the UNC supporters this morning, and to the PNM, who used to be PNM, who had this idea of a intellectual black party, that's not it anymore. This PNM is owned by a handful of businessmen, predominantly a few Syrians, a couple black lawyers, and one or two Chinese importers, financiers. Together they call it contract mafia. They own and operate the PNM. And if you check, when the UNC was in office, they were getting contracts under Kamala, under Monilal, HDC. HDC funded all them PNM finances when Monilal and Kamala was in office. I mean, truth be told, the country has been destroyed. Everything from here is going to put pressure on generations to come. The reality that faces us today, if we're going to pick up the bill and our children are going to pick up the bill, shouldn't we decide what it is we're buying? I mean, I didn't come here to have this serious a thing, but people is just, they just talk so much shit. If shit was sugar, we win. If we could have find a way to export shit, China is the richest country in the world. We'd be number one on the shit index. Shit sells in Trinidad. That's what we good at. Talking shit. We will look at the truth, like this Babulal knuckle dragging ass. Well, all I'm saying to Kamala is, stop tripping on your own tongue and talking shit. And he will come and attack me. Kamala not running the country. Yes, she is cat. Yes, she is cat. Half the government is the opposition. Cat. We paying her to do that. Cat. Understand that the parliament has a role and the government has a role. The parliament job is to stay and guide and hold the government accountable and offer itself as an alternative in case the government can't do a proper job. The fact that none of those laws have been written properly and drafted properly, but we've had UNC and PNM governments for 58 years. Anyway, I'm making my soup. I'm going to post a picture after and show you how it come out. I almost wrote a post this morning and asked, what do you do when your choices in politics is join corrupt column A or corrupt column B? And if column B have straighter hair or teeth less, or they teething for a different reason, or whatever, and you're a person of integrity, what do you do? I read in Suzette's post today, and she's another junior up-and-comer activist, outspoken person. She have her followers, like Winston Ragu have his followers. And they're facing the reality that it's impossible to win an election in this country on policy. I wrote all the policies that all these politicians quoting now. I wrote them. It took me 25 years to write a book called Reinventing Trinidad and Tobago. I make it available just now to the country for free. I'm looking for sponsors and making it free. All of the conversation about abolish SCA, all of that is me. Secure the borders, me. The pitch lake, who own it, me. I bring all that into the conversation. That's all me. How to hold, capture, hold, treat, distribute water, wassa, all that, me. I'm telling you that I know and I understand this thing, and there's nothing I can do with it. And I wonder, while I'm explaining to my little 3-year-old daughter that I'm here doing another live video. The live pause for a second and see it's back. But trying to understand what's the point of it. If we can fix it, but the average citizen says, Philip, I know you will fix it. I know you could fix it, but I prefer to vote race and crash my life. Crash my country. Sorry. I don't know. The brain of me knows that we need to change from the PNM and the UNC, but there's something inside me that propels me to act against my best interest. And I realize that that's what's going on in the country. There are people who face the dilemma of the cognitive dissonance of knowing that the party they support not going to change things that much, not going to improve the country that much. They'll get a little better, maybe, in their scenario, because for all the UNC people who telling the PNM people that they're stupid and they vote for that take jam, they're not taking jam. When PNM in power, life good for PNM. We could do all of it. Anyway, they're real interfering with this live video. And I guess somebody says, well, the raging bull is in now. And that's Diana Bissoon. And somebody from the PNM will answer you, yeah, but that's better than the drunky monkey. And how did you, Diana Bissoon, and who come to talk about drunky monkey, how did you all help? And that's the question this morning. That's the whole question that I want to ask. Yeah? When the soup done, I see it sticking bad, so we will have to leave it for another day. And when we get a chance, this is the conversation we have to have, because I was going to ask today, the people who can, should we just stop talking? How will you know that you had an option? I don't know the answer to that question. Say hello. Breathe properly. Give them a big smile. That's not a smile. Say hello. Say a proper hello. Ow! Alright, go away. Come to this daddy. Yeah? You touch the pot hot. Look your juice. You going back outside? Say bye-bye. Tell everybody bye-bye. Say see ya. Yeah. Wouldn't wanna be ya. I'll be ya. What? I'm wrapping it up now. I'm coming outside in the dollhouse with you just now. That's what it's for. Your family, your children, your parents. That's what it's for. Everything you do, every decision you make, that's what it's for. And if you're not getting that, because my decisions are not for me. When I was single and young and free and had no family to take care of, I would make decisions based on what I want. Now I have children, and I want a better world for my children. I want a better country for them, or I will go and find a proper country for them to have a good life. That's what you have to want too. And if anything, today, on this day of prayer, pray that the scales that covers the electorate's eyes will be lifted, and the clay that blocks their ears will be pierced, and that people will see, and that they will hear, and that they will understand, that the fog that clouds their minds will be dissipated, and that they will see, and that they will hear, and that they will understand that we have a responsibility to the country that we live in. And if we don't do better, we will get old and die and leave a steaming pile of donkey shit for our children. And that's unfair to them. Yeah? Enjoy your day of prayer. Later.